Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Jen and I really cannot wait to give you my recap on my 1 month Breaking the Stall challenge. I hope my lighting's okay. It is a rainy day here in Baltimore and I really just want to curl up in a blanket on my bed. But anyway, if you're new here, I was in a 3-month weight loss stall and decided to just create a plan for March to just finally break it. I've been taking Mounjaro since March of 2023. I have lost over 80 pounds. It has changed my life. I've tried to lose weight so many times in the past. It just never stuck. But something finally clicked, and I'll be doing a video soon about some beginner's tips to taking Mounjaro, how you can kick off your weight loss journey. So just be on the lookout for that. So I started on March 1st, and I weighed in at 184 pounds. And I wanted to do that like a introduction, like a boxer, but I decided against it. But my areas of focus were protein and fiber, daily walks, strength training, hydration, and sleep. And after 31 days, I weighed in at 173.6 pounds. That's 10.4 pounds down in 1 month, far exceeding my expectations. So I think it's safe to say that my stall is in my rearview mirror. I say goodbye to it. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for holding me accountable. I think doing these videos really helped me stay on track, and I just looked forward to providing my weekly updates. And in this month, I've learned so much about myself. First of all, wow, does a month fly by? It just didn't feel like a month because I really didn't make any drastic changes. I just got back into my healthy routines, and that was great, and it was a great feeling. And I think some of my weight loss success was that I got back into not only planning out my meals, I created goals that I could achieve daily, weekly, and monthly. They were specific, measurable, and achievable. And really that just allowed me to celebrate just the little successes. And I'm not talking about that number on the scale, but I could just feel this boost I was getting from eating better and working out. It was such a great feeling every day. And I used to do all of this when I first started my weight loss journey back in March, as I said before, but I got away from it, and I could say it was the holidays, work, life, things just got crazy. But sometimes you just need to get back to the basics. Stick to the areas that were successful in the past and just enjoy the process, which, I was so happy before I started to break my stall that I sat down and I just really planned out this month, and I was able to see the areas I needed to improve. And I just didn't overcomplicate my weight loss journey anymore. What I loved about tracking my weekly progress was that I could evaluate in real time what was working and just what wasn't. And I could make those changes instead of forcing or ultimately making the journey stressful and then just stopping. For example, I wanted to do 4 days of strength training, but realistically, I could only make 3 days work. So instead of stressing or forcing a session when I knew I just didn't have the time, I made a quick change after week 1. And it was 3 days a week for the rest of the month. But I did have some extra time in those sessions, so it added a couple exercises to my plan. So I really was hitting all the muscle groups that I thought was important. So ultimately it may look like I lost a day, but in reality, I was doing all the exercises I needed to. But you need to figure out what works best for you. And in this case, something I could stick to. You always want to build a routine that sets you up for success. And I think that combination of just having a consistent workout strategy along with upping my protein, prioritizing fruits and veggies, those were the main contributors to me breaking my stall if I had to look back on this past month. Because during my stall, I wasn't focused on daily movement. My eating habits were all over the place. I didn't have a plan, and it obviously showed. I also felt upping my protein kept my hunger in check the last 2 weeks of the month. The first 2 weeks I had some hunger. It's just some hunger pains that, I've had in the past, but it just didn't impact me because I stuck to my plan. And once again, having a plan made hitting my protein goals a lot easier. I use a meal plan template from Commit 30. I print it out on a weekly basis. It just helps take the stress and pressure off of mealtime. No last minute decisions on what I should eat for dinner. I map it out, have everything I need because I went shopping with my list, and I planned it off of foods that I knew that I could stick to. I just got back to the basics of eating and moving on a daily basis. And I could feel day after day my body responding positively. Now, hydration was always a key component of my weight loss journey. And, I built a nice morning routine where I drink my Motive Pure electrolytes as soon as I wake up. I've talked about this many times. But I didn't have any foot cramps, and that happened a lot in my stall. So I think hydration and electrolytes just also helped lessen any potential side effects, because I did jump up to 12.5 on my second week. So during the month, week 1, I was at 10, and the remaining 3 weeks, I was at 12.5. And that was really just due to what was available at that time. If I could take that out of the equation, I probably would have stayed at 10, which I think could be shocking to some of you, but I don't really think the dosage was the main reason I was in a stall. I never really think to jump month after month, but I have great doctors that are helping me make the decisions that are really best for me based off of my monthly weight loss and goals. But I did do a better job of rotating the injection site, because in the past I primarily injected around my belly button. This past month I rotated left to right on my thigh. Could that be a contributing factor to breaking the stall? Quite possibly. And it was something my doctor told me to try, so I did. But thankfully, no major side effects other than 12.5 on occasion, day after, 2 days after, made me tired, but it was manageable. And to quickly pivot from this stall conversation, and just those starting Mounjaro, not everybody has the side effects you hear in the news or social media. Like, I remember reading so many comments in a Facebook group for, Mounjaro users. And for a second, I just wondered, was this the right medicine for me? I didn't want to feel miserable. But then I realized those comments are kind of like reading restaurant reviews, where you really only hear those that have had a bad experience. And then just recently hearing that less than 1% had serious side effects, I think is something that everybody needs to hear that is first starting Mounjaro. But I made sure to just dial it back at the time and realize this is my journey. My body reacts differently. And even if I had some side effects, I had a plan in place. Plus, I think eating helps lessen those side effects, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But getting back on topic, I say this, and please do not compare yourself to me. But even though I did have that occasional hunger throughout the week, it didn't trigger me to eat more. Because that appetite suppression on 12.5 was no joke. Like, I had to set reminders to eat. Like, my phone would beep for my daily snack around 10:30 and lunch at 12:30. Like, I had a moment where, I had my morning protein coffee at breakfast, ran some errands, went food shopping, got home around 2:30. So I went from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and not once did I think to eat. And I was in a store surrounded by food. That's crazy to me. Especially because before Mounjaro, I thought about food constantly. Setting these reminders just, in my mind, helped me stick to my meal plan and hit all my daily caloric goals. That's extremely important to me because with all the yo-yoing that I've done for over 20 years, I'm afraid to admit that, I know I've wreaked havoc on my metabolism. And so when I went into this weight loss journey over a year ago, I made this a goal of mine to still focus on, yes, being in that calorie deficit, but just not as drastic or restrictive as I've done in the past. I made no food off limits, but I focused on just having a healthier relationship, but then also remembering how I feel when I'm eating certain things. Because if you remember how you feel after maybe eating a bag of jelly beans, you most likely will skip them the next time and opt for something better. And I'll leave it at that. I think I've eaten more this past year while trying to lose weight than ever in the past. That's mind-blowing to me. Maybe it's the healthy food habits I built or making things I love healthier. But I still had tremendous success losing weight compared to the past couple of years or 20 plus years. I mean, when I was looking through my notes from the past year to come up with this plan for me to break my stall in March and just map out a video as well for my 1 year journey of losing 80 pounds, I realized I lost 52 pounds in the first 3 months. I may have to create a video on, how I was able to do that and still continue, a year in, feeling fresh and just ready to take on each day and lose weight and get healthier. Let me know if you want me to do that. I'll add that to my list of videos I have coming up. And for the elephant in the room, my sleep habits. I think I've built some healthy habits this past month. For now, I'm averaging about 7 hours of sleep. I think having that routine at night that consists of like skincare. I got some new pajamas. I wind down with something light to watch. And I cut off my water around 6:30 to 6:45, and I think that has all helped. But I still see some room for improvement. But waking up every night around 3 and not being able to fall back asleep really does put a lot of stress on your body. So I don't want to go back to that. But I also think losing weight, not feeling like I'm restricting myself, and just enjoying every step of this weight loss journey has, I think, helped my sleeping habits. And before I wrap up this stall series, there's one area I'm a little concerned with, and that's muscle loss. Now I know smart scales are not super accurate. But I didn't like to see that out of the 10.4 pounds, I lost 2 pounds of muscle. Now I'm not taking away from the success I've had this month. I've always just had this article in my head that I read like months ago when I first started about Mounjaro and, muscle mass loss. So I've just been focusing on that from day one. But for now, I plan to talk to my doctor. I have an appointment this week, and I'm going to get an in-body scan done at my local med spa. I've done those scans almost monthly from day one. And, I did focus on building, muscle from day one. And my average muscle loss was in line with what I was losing. So I don't want to say I'm discouraged by losing some muscle. I do think that the next challenge, I'm really going to hone in on strength training and building muscle and a little less daily cardio. But I still want to do some research, and, I want to talk to some professionals. But if you're in a stall like I was, I really hope you learned something from my video this past month. And if I can just reiterate one thing, just one, that is to get back to the basics and simplify your plan. If you just focus on what you're eating and making minor changes to what you're eating to just add that nutritional value to it, along with just getting in some form of daily movement, like that could be walking or biking or lifting weights, you will break your stall. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment below how your weight loss journey is going. I would love to hear from you. I plan to get a couple more videos out this week and month, so please subscribe so you don't miss any of those. And have a good one. Thank you so much. Bye.